Is that loud? Who was on it before? You were ill prepared for that intro right there. Well, welcome to my world. Remember when it was blazing freaking in my ears the first couple times?
Oh man, I feel like Danny Glover, man. Into over this shit.
Coming to you live from We the People Podcast Network. I want to welcome you to this week's Politically Correcting Podcast. Yes, we are still here. We're still talking that hot stuff with my co-host, Lavelle Lewis. Austin on the ones and twos.
Hello.
There we go. That was a little bit delayed.
Man, and we got a special guest tonight, my boy Andre Petrov. We'll get into his personal in a little bit.
Hello.
Hello. He's going to be jumping on and talking with us about some stuff. This is how we do it. This is how we do things around here. Everyone get your drinks out.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's toast to the ability for us to be able to have a drink with other people, other men, have open and honest dialogue, and being able to walk away still being friends.
I agree.
Salute.
Salute.
Okay. I gotta take this.
That's refreshing.
Oh, yeah. Verse of the week. Proverbs 14:23. Proverbs 14:23. In all toil there is profit, but mere talk tends only to poverty. There's a lot of talkers out there. Not many doers. We see a lot of poverty out there. And when you see poverty, you tend to see people who will complain about how the government caused their poverty or somebody else of a different skin color caused the poverty. I promise you, there is profit in toil. I saw the librarian today. The library came to a picnic thing for the community, and I was talking to her, and I said the library is my favorite place to go because you can. And I tell people this all the time. Anyone that comes in saying, "Hey, I'm looking for a job," and I ask them, "Okay, what is it that you're looking for? What kind of job are you looking for?" "Oh, anything that'll hire me." Okay, that's the worst answer. Worst answer. What are you really good at? What is something that you know, and you can do well or even better than anyone else? And if they don't have an answer, I say, go to the library. Pick out a subject that you find interesting and read a freaking book. And then pick out another one and then pick out another one. If you read one book a week, after a month, you're going to have a very good solid base on what that information is. After a year, you're going to know more people out there in the job market. The library is one of the best places you can go to get free books. Even if that library doesn't have the book, you can actually order it online and have it shipped to your library. I'm telling you, there's so many things out there that can teach people. There's free online courses. There's Coursera. There's YouTube. YouTube got me in the finance industry. I was never in finance industry until I learned things on YouTube about finance. And then I went to a job interview at the bank and I just spit out the same words that YouTube taught me. And I got a job in finance, man. I'm telling you, there's so much information out there, but where mere talk abounds, there tends to only be poverty. So less talking, more doing. That's the verse of the week there.
You sure that's gonna resonate with folks?
No.
Oh.
But I think those who do, it'll resonate with them. The people who know. And people who don't know, they're just going to keep hating. And then there's going to be like the 1%, 1 to 5% who will say, you know what? Let me try something different because what I'm doing is not working, right?
Well, it's kind of like if you can walk the walk, but can you talk the talk? You're only as good as the information that you contain. You can pose as anything that you want to, but until you can actually stand your ground in any kind of discourse or communication, no one can really attest to how efficacious you are as any said presentation.
Right. Because everything I learned on YouTube was just, I was regurgitating it. I didn't really learn it until I was in front of a customer and I had to go through the actual motions of, shit, I need to help them with their credit.
Yep.
You know, it's like,
how do I explain this to someone
right.
who has no idea what I'm talking about?
It was like that meme that says, or that commercial when you put on your, and you put in your resume that you know Italian fluently or something like that, or sign language fluently, and then you show up and they're like, "Oh, we need you to do this like tomorrow." You actually don't know how to do it. You know, like the basics, like hello and all swear words. Let's get into some real conversations that I know people want to talk about because that's what they come here for. They come here to listen to very, very smart gentlemen.
There's a lot of shit that has happened in the last.
Bro, and we just
Last
talked
week.
yesterday,
Yeah.
and I said there was a lot of stuff to talk about. And literally within 24 hours, there's been at least half the topics we're going to talk about today is new in the past 24 hours and totally took away half of the stuff that we were going to talk about.
That means I probably don't even know.
Well, we always got to start with the daily COVID update because monkeypox hasn't been in the news. Have you seen anything about monkeypox lately?
It just didn't have that staying power.
It sure didn't, especially after, Pride Month. That went away real quick.
Yeah.
Went away real
They
quick.
found their scapegoat too quick.
Well, COVID update. We got the annual COVID booster. White House signals most people will only need annual COVID booster. Oh,
That's weird.
you mean like the flu?
Blue?
Mm.
That's exactly how I take it. Like you're talking about literally another shot that you think we should take annually.
It's worse in Canada. They're trying to push it for every 90 days.
Yeah, you don't even fucking take
90 days?
anything for
Yeah.
90 days, man. Every 90 days.
Oh my goodness.
People don't even take their fucking daily vitamins or whatever.
Right?
Like,
Your multivitamin.
right. Who the
Right.
fuck is gonna do that
I
for
don't-
some fucking COVID?
I got a shit ton of vitamins that I bought during COVID, and it did really well. I mean, I beat COVID within 2 days one time. And it's I don't take them every day. I'm like, shit, I forgot to take my vitamins.
But you know what? They will successfully get that, get people to, align with that, because I still see people out here with fucking masks on, like heavy, bro.
Mhm.
Well,
heavy.
the White House actually put forth a new selling point. It said
Mm.
to view it as a first annual shot akin to the annual flu shot. End quote. This is what President Biden said in a statement. If you are vaccinated and 12 and older, get the new COVID-19 shot this fall. This once-a-year shot can reduce your risk of getting COVID-19, reduce your chance of spreading it to others, and dramatically reduce your risk of severe COVID-19. I'm pretty sure 2 out of 3 things he said right there was disinformation.
How fast do you think that they're going to have to walk that back?
Proven disinformation.
And I mean, reduce from coming from motherfucker that got shot like 5 times and tested positive every day.
Biden has had it 3 times.
Right.
President
He's-
Biden has had it 3
And
times.
he's the most isolated person.
Yeah,
that we know.
Right,
right. Yes. No one's coming next to the motherfucker.
He lives
Secret
with no
Service.
one. Not even Joe Biden lives with him.
Word, bro.
So
He's the highest risk.
the
Like,
highest risk person.
He hits every fucking and he's the president, and he's telling us, stay safe. Ah,
Screaming at the moon, this guy.
ah.
Let's get into the daily absurdity because I know you're going to love this one.
Oh, great.
Let's bring up the human trafficking.
That wasn't the daily absurdity, the COVID shit.
That wasn't it.
Have you seen what's been going on in Israel regarding the COVID and the unvaccinated versus vaccinated?
Oh, it's a battle
Again, because that was Israel that came out with the one last year.
I just texted you a screenshot that I took off Twitter from this gentleman, Dr. Eli David. He's checkmark verified. He talks about active COVID cases by vaccination status from the Israel Ministry of Health official dashboard. And the graph is, pretty much 2 to 1 vaccinated to unvaccinated between ages of 5 to 11, 12 to 15, 16 to 19, 20 to 29. Only about maybe
70-year-olds.
30 to 39 is there a slight uptick in unvaccinated cases. They also have a category called expired, which is, you just haven't gotten a booster in
Mm-hmm.
however long their mandate says. It only starts to get
Hey, guys, got it.
critical in terms of unvaccinated. There we go. At the 70 to 79 range. Otherwise, everyone, they're all beat by vaccinated people in all the younger age ranges.
Weird. But this is not the first time that you said this is from Israel, right?
Yep.
Yeah. This is not the first time that Israel came out with information that totally debunked everything they talked about when it came to the vaccination.
And they're the most vaccinated, if not one of the top 5.
Yeah, they
world.
were last year was the country that was 99% vaccinated,
Mhm.
and they had a jump in COVID cases.
Well, I mean, a lot of the COVID vaccine trials started in Israel. Like they were the first to kind of start protesting too. A lot of the folks in Israel, they did like a stand-in. Like I don't know how they did it. Like thousands of Israelis just stood in like some main town or something, just 6 feet apart. It didn't move, and it was crazy. It was crazy. And I was like, oh shit, people of Israel's fighting back. This shit is real. If they're protesting, there's some shit that's going down because they usually align with whatever the government says.
Well, on top of that, their medical science is very, very high in terms of quality. It's not like, you know, some of these other questionable countries where it's like, might want to
Like America,
Yeah, I was about to say.
Like,
where our entire freaking political machine is paid for
Right.
by the top companies.
NIH, does that ring a bell?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Yeah,
Pfizer,
in collaboration with Johnson & Johnson.
Johnson & Johnson. It was funny when they first came out with all these different brands and people were like, which one did you get? I got the Johnson & Johnson. Oh, I got Moderna.
What I would
How gay could you
Oh, man.
be? I got the
I was asking people which ones they
Pfizer.
got, and I learned from this is totally firsthand experience in the areas, certain areas, like Johnson & Johnson was the number one vaccine for Black people.
Why? Oh, you know what? It makes
Because it only
sense.
took one shot.
Oh,
That was the
could've-
one shot one.
Right.
Well, and also, you know,
but they
Johnson-
only provided it in certain areas.
well, that makes sense too. But
So it sounded like they were only putting Johnson & Johnson
listen.
vaccine in the city.
Listen, let me tell you. Johnson & Johnson in the city is like literally as common as Black folks in the city because
Your hands on the
everybody
camera.
had Johnson & Johnson products in their house
Yep.
from like babies, from
The baby wipes.
baby wipes to powder
Baby
to
oil.
Baby powder that gives
to
women
creams,
cancer.
everything. The first thing
Uh-huh.
they see, they know is Johnson & Johnson. So you know, that mean like shit. Go with sounds familiar. I'm gonna go to Johnson & Johnson. It was in my house for
Sounds right.
forever.
Didn't they discontinue the J&J shot?
They sure did.
They did.
That's the one that
yeah,
got
the first
pulled.
one.
Yep.
Mhm. Yeah. But listen, don't get it twisted. You know, between the races, whatever, it's still a lot of Black folks. Like I wasn't getting that just because they didn't trust the government. But as far as races go, every race got some dumb motherfuckers out there lining up to get it, like taking pictures. I got my 3rd booster today. I'm ready. You ready for what? Like
To go to the Bills game.
pretty much.
That was
That-
that was the carrot.
Someone did refer to people like us as being radicalized. Do you see this tweet by a certain legislator?
I saw the tweet.
I'm gonna bring this
She
up
has a certain color type hair.
here. We're not even talking about her hair. Dr. Mendoza was reappointed in a 21-8 vote. We're talking about 29 votes here, okay?
Yeah.
Out of the 29 votes, 8 votes were against Mendoza, Dr. Mendoza.
Hmm.
And the response here is, it's clear there are a lot of people who have been radicalized in the pandemic. That's the part that really jumps out at me personally, because my question is, what is your definition of radicalized? Because I saw a lot of people who were radicalized during the pandemic, and it had nothing to do with Dr. Mendoza. It had nothing to do with the COVID vaccine. It had nothing to do with the COVID passport requirements. I saw a lot of
Mhm.
radicalization that was,
On the
you know,
other side,
burning
right?
down buildings, looting, rioting, you know, destruction of government property. I saw a lot of radicals out there.
Throwing water on people for not wearing a mask.
I don't see how. I don't
think
see
that's the
how
least of their
8
concern.
I saw that shit.
8 people out of 29 voting against the doctor who I've talked to a couple of them, and they're just like, well, it just seemed as if it just seemed as if him going to bars during COVID and telling people to get a COVID vaccine shot at the bar and him giving out donuts didn't seem as though that was the right look.
That's what did it for them.
That's what did it for them.
That right.
Not
there.
all of them. I'm just saying for like,
but that's
couple
what they
people that I
needed to
talked
see.
to.
I mean, fuck. That's just
they said I didn't think that the way he handled it was appropriate.
was appropriate.
The handouts that he did, you know, the we're gonna give out sneakers to young kids who get the COVID vaccine shot.
Hmm.
Like, maybe that wasn't appropriate. I don't know about the others who voted no, but the rest of the statement is that is not just on them, and the road to repairing the incredible damage will be long.
What fucking incredible damage, yo! Like I would love to.
There was an incredible damage that was done by Dr. Mendoza.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I want to know.
I don't think that's
who
what
is
she's
she.
referring to.
Right, she's not referring to that.
Right.
She's talking about the people who disagreed with all of the shit that came through the pipeline, right?
Who showed up to speak to the county legislature, because there was a lot of people that showed up.
How dare you protest? How dare you stand up for yourself? You are a radical.
How dare you stand up for my body, my choice?
So that was where my mind was.
Your eyes, I saw it in your eyes.
Yeah, but those people aren't radicals, though. Like you.
What is your definition of radicals? That's what I want to know.
That's what I'm saying.
What would be your definition of a radical?
Well, okay, I'm going to say my definition based off of her account right here, right? If she's saying, it's clear there are a lot of people who have been radicalized in the pandemic, then that means anybody who has any type of stance or social injustice, anything you want to stand up for, you are a radical. Right? Because it's the same level of,
well, not anybody, because there were people who stood up for stuff during the pandemic that she did not term a radical.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So who are you calling a radical? Because for me, a radical is somebody that's going against, the government based off of, I don't know, whatever information they have, but they're doing it in a way to where they are disrupting, they are terrorizing, they are, being aggressive in their approach.
Yeah, I would say anyone that's willing to destroy to get their way.
Yes.
I don't think it has to do with the government, because you could be a radical coming after me just for, well, I guess I'm part government. I could be radical going against you for, I don't know,
ideologies.
Yeah, for any reason. But I want to destroy something of yours or something about you in order to get my point across, or to force you to believe or to vote my way. Right. That's what I feel as if the radical would be. Now, show me something about anything about the people who stood up against the COVID vaccine mandates, not against the vaccine, because nobody was against. I shouldn't say nobody. There were some people who were against the vaccine, but most people were just saying, have the vaccine if you want. I don't care. Yep. Don't force me to get it, and don't force me to have to choose between how I make my money, a paycheck to support my family, the roof over my head, the career that I've built for 20-something years. Don't force me to choose that or my body.
My question is, what makes it okay for a politician to use this type of rhetoric?
I don't see how or when it's appropriate.
No,
because they said it the other night, or at the press secretary said, if you think differently than the majority of Americans, then you don't belong.
You're an extremist.
Are extremists, right? So there's people who are extremists. There's people who are radicals, and they're coming out with every political ad that claims that anyone who's a Republican is an extremist or a radical.
Yep. Period.
Full stop. Every single TV ad I see.
Isn't there a term for that? Fascism?
That is the definition of, in my eyes, propaganda at the very least. But I think fascism is a much closer.
Yeah.
Because I don't recall. It seems as if everything that they said was going to happen underneath President Trump is happening underneath President Biden.
Correct.
There is nowhere on the right where I see them specifically, stereotyping anyone, within that side, right? There's always just the argument that's trying to be discussed, but they are direct with like a personality on that other side. Like it's this dangerous.
There's libtard, the word libtard.
Yep.
That's used.
Well, that's, I mean,
there's
I'm talking about with politicians though. People who are like I haven't seen any politicians on the right, attack the way they are. Like they are really saying anybody that votes
not in line with them.
Anyone that believes making America great is something bad. Like
Yeah,
they want you to not love your country. That's fascism.
Yeah, I don't understand that. They say ultra MAGA Republicans. So ultra make America great again Republicans. I know what they mean,
Yeah.
but you do understand what you're saying.
What you're saying.
You're
yeah.
saying that anyone who wants to make America great
Period.
is a fascist.
That's
To me,
that's
I
not
don't
what
see how
fascism is.
I don't see how that works on a very clear conscious level, on a someone who likes to see things down the middle, someone who has critical thinking. I don't see how that makes sense to me. Like come better.
Yep.
That's what I keep anyone who's running for election right now, any Democrats, come better than that. Don't come
Yeah.
with that, because I myself as a moderate see that and I'm disgusted by it.
Yeah. I mean, and to anyone that's in the political realm, like if you're talking politics, bro, stick to politics, stick to policy, stick to the facts, right? Because
Right.
I'm definitely not going to tell you and say that everything that a Republican says is correct and is
What
is
is the
going-
platform that person stands on?
Yeah.
Because I'm tired of this party shit.
Yeah.
What is a platform that you stand on and you stand on? And I'm going to figure out which platform I like better. I'm not going to agree with everything you say. I'm not going to agree with everything you say. Whose
Mhm.
platform makes more sense for me and my family? I'm going to vote that way.
Yeah.
I don't care about this vote down the line. I don't care about this vote blue, vote red, vote R, vote D. I don't care about none of that.
Bro, who was the female Democrat that was she was running for president and she was going hard at all of
Tulsi
them.
Gabbard,
Yo,
my favorite.
she was killing. And
She
I'm
was the
like,
best.
yo, those they're there. They are there. But what happens though?
She destroyed Kamala Harris.
Yeah, well, what happens within that party?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? If you don't align with,
Oh, you're kicked out of the club.
if you don't agree with everything that they're saying, you're done.
Her
Well, a lot-
DNC card got revoked.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
Yes. You're not
But
a
they invited her to
Democrat.
CPAC. They
Yeah,
invited her
she
to the
spoke.
conservative. Yeah, and she spoke
Wow.
phenomenally.
Wow.
It was the most amazing speech. Like, if you took away the fact that she was at CPAC, there is like no way that you'd be like, oh, she's a Republican or Democrat. She is like right there. She is a constitutionalist. She believes in America. She loves this country, and she's a Christian woman. That was it.
Yep.
And I loved it. I freaking loved it.
Mhm.
And they're turning her into like this. They're doing the same thing with me. Same thing with me is what they're doing, that they do to her on a national level. It's like, I don't care about the label. Let me just do
rock.
me.
Just
Let me,
do rock.
you
Do
know,
your
I,
thing.
but
You know what it is? And I'll say this, right? Just from, hanging with you though. The people within the city, the people who the glue, the folks who are the glue within the city,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? They have no problem with approaching you, shaking hands, whatever.
you seen it live?
Yeah. You know what I mean? I was like, oh shoot. Like people ain't afraid, right? People are not afraid to you know what I mean, say they know somebody. But they found a way to make that shit happen in that party of yours, bro. They really made it like some like, if you don't agree with everything that we say, I mean, I'm sorry, I
You're
don't know
an
where
evil
the,
person.
I don't know where that money's gonna come for you, that support. I mean, you gotta agree with everything they say.
That money's not coming to me anyways. I can promise you that.
No,
So it was on me from the beginning.
that Soros money.
Yeah, I don't want to touch
Oh,
that.
you don't touch
Soros
that
money.
Soros money, boy.
Well, let's talk about money that's missing. Let's bring up the funds that are missing from the clerk office.
oh, I saw that shit.
You saw this? We skipped past
Yeah.
the conversation we're going to have about the human trafficking. We're going to get back to it
I
though.
saw that.
But the funds missing from the county clerk office.
Checks, motherfuckers is writing blank checks.
What was there, like $32,000 missing? We have the
Motherfucker found
article?
a scheme, boy.
Where are those IRS agents?
I
For
know,
the
right?
80,000, 87,000 armed
Yeah.
IRS agents.
Well, apparently not all of them will be armed. Some admins will just, be IRS people.
Sure.
It sounds like this sounds familiar right here.
Do you have that News 10 article? I gotta pull it up here. I'll pull it
I
up
must
here.
have
This one.
honed in on a different or-
Investigation
I don't-
underway
I don't think I
into
have that
funds.
one.
All right. So investigation underway into funds missing from Money County Clerk's office. They did a live press conference where they were talking to, yep, that one right there. Jamie Romeo is our Monroe County Clerk. She stated before they did the press conference that she was made aware of missing funds, and so she contacted the county sheriffs.
If you see something, say something.
Right. Well, during the
Been seeing those ads. Watch out.
during the news conference, her words changed. I noticed it in the middle of it. I'm like, and she was like, "Well, we're working with the county sheriffs," and I'm like, "Working with county sheriffs? Okay, that's different from what she said." And then when the county sheriffs came on, like, well, the banks came to us, and then other law enforcement agencies came to us, and we saw
Discrepancy.
we saw it first, and then brought it to the county clerk's office. So they're the ones who alerted her to the issue. So I was looking at it like, why lie about that? Why lie and say you found the issue and you brought it to the county sheriffs, but the county sheriffs were the ones who were tipped off by the banks and brought it to you. So I'm really, really hoping that they don't find yet another politician with missing funds in the Democratic Party, because it seems as though
That might be an issue
again, like it's happened multiple times in Rochester.
Yeah.
And it's only been Democrats. Let's be honest here. Do you recall a Republican where funds went missing?
Is that why they're also called
Well,
conservatives?
I recall a fucking Republican Party where $2 trillion went missing
Yes.
before.
Yes. Before 9/11, yes. On September 10th.
I mean,
this is due tomorrow.
I mean, bro. I mean, we want to compare apples to oranges. I mean,
Yeah.
the left got a lot of catching up to do to $2 trillion of fucking.
They don't have any catching up to do. They already printed that.
Oh,
and more.
right. They gave it away.
Yeah, we already we're past that at this point. We're way
But don't
past
worry,
that.
it won't cost you anything. It's paid for.
But remember, we had a city school board that lost millions of dollars. We had a city councilman that was stealing a couple $100,000 from the city Rochester taxpayers.
No way. Was he on? Wait, was he in office at that time? He was.
Yeah, Adam McFadden.
Oh, we talking about that guy.
Yeah, with George
Hmm.
Moses.
Oh, with
And-
Rochester Housing Authority.
Yeah.
Oh,
We had a mayor that was being convicted for some financial issues with her funding
without her knowledge.
without her knowledge.
Without her knowledge,
Yes.
she went to court.
Right. And
And-
now we have Monroe County getting involved with it. I'm not saying this is not me saying anything about Monroe County Clerk Jamie Romeo. What I'm saying is
Where there's smoke, there's fire. Could
I
be something going on.
I haven't seen this coming from the Republic. Maybe there was there something with the RTS?
That one I don't remember.
The lady who used to be a newscaster, she like her husband was working for RTS or something like that. If you remember this, put it in the comments.
Was this Maggie Brooks?
Maggie Brooks, something with
Uh-huh.
Maggie Brooks. What was that?
Well, there was a lot of shit going on with Maggie Brooks.
Yeah,
there was a lot of
she
shit
was
going on.
Republican.
She was giving people sweet contracts
Okay,
for
contract deals.
Yeah, it was contract deals with the county parks and recs and all that stuff. And
Okay, well
yeah,
that's
she
still
was-
bad.
It's bad, yeah. I mean, yo, man.
you don't like preferential treatment?
Listen, these politicians gonna play, bro. They're
Who-
gonna play.
Who asked that question right there? Who do you guys believe is running this country? That's a big jump from what we were just talking about right
I
here.
mean, if you're asking the wrong, you want us to put the tinfoil hat on right now?
That's
Right.
We
How
got-
early in? How
Right,
early are
haven't
we?
even-
We're a half hour in.
Yeah, we didn't even get to the conspiracy theory.
We haven't even got to it. We haven't even gotten to like the third thing here. But that's what's happening in Monroe County.
I would say
missing
a
funds.
politician is not running this world.
There are
definitely
no
not.
politicians running.
No
this,
politicians is running any fucking thing.
not at all.
Not a country. When was the last leader that actually? And I'm talking about leader, dictator. I don't give a fuck who the dictator was. Those motherfuckers wasn't leading their country either. It was always some handler.
U.S. government, FBI.
no
No,
CIA?
they're the ones who's funding those organizations are
Trans-
running it.
international companies.
Where the money?
transnational
Right.
corporations.
Where's the money coming from?
Is it always money?
It's always about money, bro.
Okay.
It's always somebody sold they soul somewhere.
Okay.
You can't be the king. You can't be. I'm sorry. If you're the king, somebody's gonna kill you.
Well, let me show you someone who thinks that he. No, he doesn't think he was a king. I was trying to put a thing together there, but Mayor Adams, Let me tell you something. He does not like being a sanctuary city in real life.
No, fucking no. New
None-
York
none of them
City.
do.
No. First of all, whoever thought New York City would be a sanctuary city was crazy.
Well,
This
They-
isn't Ellis Island all over again.
Rochester's
Fuck
a
that.
sanctuary city.
And
So I'm terrified
Chicago.
of this happening here.
And we all know what happened with Ellis Island, right? They shut that shit down once the gangs in New York was happening, and
Mhm.
motherfuckers was like, I mean,
It's cheap
let's-
labor.
right. And let's not, be stupid. Like, how many gangs were pretty much created out of New York City? And every top gang, there was a country
Yeah.
that represented each of those gangs.
It was like a mini game of Risk. Just
Yo,
in
like-
New York City.
And do you
Isn't
think it's
there
not
some-
happening down in Texas or Arizona?
I mean, what the?
Oh, absolutely.
Because we went through the numbers before. Remember that most of the people who are coming across our border were not Mexicans.
MS-13 is probably the worst gang that's in
Well,
this
definitely
country
the worst
right
gang.
now.
But I think it was number one were Cubans or Venezuelans.
Fucking
We had a graph before. It was
who
that,
knows?
that wouldn't
man?
surprise me.
yeah, it was
Who
like
knows?
Cubans and Venezuelans were like the top people who were coming in through Mexico, and it wasn't Mexicans.
Yeah. this country, United States of America, is the only fucking thing that's standing in between those gangs and us. Seriously. If we lose government, we lose law and order. Bro, you think you about to go down the street somewhere? You
Well,
can't, because that's MS-13 or
You see what's happening in New York City?
The
You see it. We know
triads,
what's
who
happening in New York
fucking-
City.
I
We know
don't
what's happening in Chicago.
Yeah. Did you see what the January 1st, 2024
Yeah, pull up the Illinois
policies are going?
Illinois purge law.
shit. Yeah,
The
that
mayor-
shit's crazy.
Bro.
I can't remember which mayor brought
What
it
the
up.
fuck
But
is
it was
this?
like,
But it's
everyone needs to know about this.
but it's
In
what's,
Chicago, though.
what's crazier.
It's
Yeah,
all of Illinois.
it's called the purge law because it says that the law would end cash bail for 12 non-detainable offenses. Non-detainable offenses. Let me tell you what these 12 non-detainable offenses are. You guys probably already know,
Yep.
but so people out there,
Yep.
they're telling that you can't detain people for second-degree murder,
I need another drink.
aggravated
I
battery,
didn't know.
arson, drug-induced homicide, kidnapping,
Intimidation.
burglary, robbery, intimidation,
Mm.
aggravated DUI, not regular DUI,
Yep.
aggravated DUI, aggravated fleeing and eluding drug offenses, and threatening a public official. Which, if I was in Illinois, I probably would be threatening a lot of public officials. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking out there. But you're gonna sit here and tell me that second-degree murder shouldn't be a detainable offense? Get out
They
of
didn't
here.
even use the word like assault or manslaughter. They straight out said murder.
Murder. But
Murder, bro.
what did the Democrats over there say it is? There's the
Straight
graph
right
to the right.
The safe.
This is simply
yeah.
a graphic made to scare voters. Right-wing disinformation.
What?
Can we?
What
can
makes
we
wait,
label
whoa,
that?
wait. What makes reading second-degree murder disinformation? It's either a part of it or not.
Mhm.
Period. There's no disinformation at all. It's like fucking. It is what it is.
You had a text of an act that you want to push through,
Mm-hmm.
and we just highlighted all the important parts and pointed out the parts that will affect people directly. That's
Literally, it says under this new law.
Wait, Jose. Read it. Read it slow.
'Kay.
So that we all can understand what you're saying.
All right. I don't know if I could do that. I want to watch Run Quick. Under this new law, after being charged with the crimes listed, those arrested would be released without bail pending a court date. That's the same issue that we're seeing in New York State that people don't
Mhm.
understand. That I was walking with the police chief on Lyle Avenue the other day. Yesterday. Damn, that was yesterday. I had all the top brass with me and everything. And obviously, the biggest issue on Lyle Avenue is open air drugs and prostitution. And so, some of the community people who are very vocal about it came out, saw us, approached us, and asked, "What are you going to do about prostitution?" And he told me before we even got to them, because I was like, if you see anybody, they're going to ask you about prostitutes, and what are you going to do about it? He's like, "Well, here's the problem. We can't hold them for anything. We see them doing it, they can't even ticket them unless there's 3 things that they have to kind of show. Number one, they know them to be prostitutes,
Mhm.
that they've been arrested before in the past. Number two, they are actively in the act of prostituting. Like they are soliciting someone for that
service.
And then, oh man, what was the third thing? I forget what the third thing was.
Is
But it made it.
Is it the actual exchange of money?
It wasn't that. It was something else. Like that made it like very hard for them to actually arrest them and have any chance of detaining them. They won't be detained. They will be giving a ticket right then and there for an appearance later in the future that they won't show up to.
They don't even take them to the station. It's just
No.
You get a ticket and then
No.
they let you go.
It's as if you got a broken taillight. Here's a ticket. Here's your court date on the ticket. Show up on that date. But people aren't showing up.
Right.
They're simply not showing up.
Why would?
Why
they?
would you?
Yeah, why would you?
Because what's going to happen?
What is the actual penalty for not showing up to one of those appearance tickets?
They say it's a bench warrant, but they haven't issued very many bench warrants because these judges don't want to issue bench warrants. So even if you get caught, like it was a 14-year-old that shot a 15-year-old with a shotgun, please pick them up, gave him an appearance ticket, dropped him off back at home.
Yep.
Because he's underage. Underage, and they can't do anything about it.
Did that other kid end up living? Is he still alive?
Oh man, I'm pretty sure he died.
Yeah.
He might be still living. That might be a big reason why he actually. That might have been second degree
Second
murder.
degree assault.
Yes, you can't.
Yeah, it's assault.
Yeah. So, man, it just irks me so much when they come out with these statistics. You have to read through the statistics that the far left come out with, because they'll come out with the same talking points, and if they'll say, "Well, this person does not have any active court cases on his docket, so the bail reform mantra you guys are talking about doesn't really apply." Okay, what about the past? Did they just get out of jail? Are they on parole? Maybe they're not. Maybe they're not on bail, but maybe they just got picked up last week and they're not on bail. Just have a freaking ticket for having an illegal gun.
The far left, they support legalizing prostitution, which is it's weird.
I'm saying,
There's a lot. So there's over in, of course, in Nevada, it's legal, right? But there is a national discussion and push to legalize prostitution.
What would you vote?
I would vote no, because that's a fine line from fucking legalizing, child trafficking as well. I mean, the sex trafficking, child trafficking, human trafficking discussion. It's very, very close to this argument right here, prostitution. It's the same thing. It's human trafficking, no matter what.
It's a branch of the same tree.
It's a branch of the same tree. So it's just ironic that I've read where there were some far left advocates for that were actually supporting the Hillary Clinton campaign. This was during the Trump presidential race, the first one. They were arguing. That was an argument of legalizing prostitution.
But we don't have that in Nevada. You don't see places that have child.
But it's not in the national conversation now, mainstream conversation now. But it's being had.
Is that a slippery slope argument?
It is. But I'm just trying to figure out, why is it every fucking time the left is the one that's like the liberating party that agrees with it, but doesn't want to kind of peel back the layers of this onion and really see, like, yo, if you legalize prostitution, you're legalizing child trafficking as well. Because there are young kids who are prostitutes right now.
So do you not believe in your body, your choice then? Because that is the epitome of my body, my choice, is that I can sell it for money.
Then you might as well say that slavery is okay. You might as well.
Is that another slippery slope argument?
It is. It's a 100% slippery slope argument.
How long has it been legal in Nevada? Because I mean, if it's been around for a while, then if they
before it was when Hugh Hefner had Playboy.
In his heyday, yeah.
So it's been at least 30 years.
It's been around for a while. But again, when you talk about this argument, if you're going to do that, then you better address the child trafficking issue. But they don't want to do that because, again, there's too many politicians that's fucking little kids.
Allegedly.
I mean, we can just wait until the Epstein tapes or
never come out,
right?
Never come out,
or the FBI and what leaks. They found, the leaks. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, you ain't getting no leaks out there. But we did skip past the human trafficking article that you had up before. Did you see who was caught for human trafficking?
I saw down in Florida it got real crazy.
Oh yes, I
This
did
was
see
very
this.
recently.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. There was a down in Florida. The
Disney worker and teachers among 160 arrested in Polk County human trafficking investigation. This was 3 days ago.
and also a police official also.
Yeah.
But Disney is why is fuck
always.
yo.
Oh, but I mean, Disney does hire a shit ton of people.
But teachers are fucking.
I'm trying to find some sense in it.
Mhm.
That okay, there's always a Disney worker in there. Oh well, Disney hires 1 million people a year, right?
Yeah, their staff is huge.
Right. So that's what she said. So is there always gonna be one in there? Maybe. But there really is no discussion around this that you can't. It's always the same people.
The vice president was fucking caught. Like, I mean,
Kamala
nothing
Harris?
surprising. No, at Disney,
Oh,
nothing can surprise you at this point, bro. Like, Ellen was criticized. Well, not criticized, or allegedly said, about fucking with Epstein in the island.
yeah.
Bill
She-
Clinton
Repeatedly.
repeatedly
a
took
dozen
flights.
times plus.
The Lolita Express. I mean, how? I mean, and then Epstein, he owned property down in Florida as well. Him, Trump, Robert Kraft, they all live on the same street.
It's okay because if you do it for science, they'll make a bronze statue out of you, like they did for Alfred Kinsey. Bring up that article, please. This is the
Who's that?
the gentleman who did research on the ejaculations of little kids.
That's a new one I haven't heard of.
I'm not even click on allegedly here. This is legitimate. This man right here, what was it? What school was it? I gotta pull up the article. It was they just made a bronze statue about him. They're like glorifying this man, saying that he was one of the front runners of the sexual revolution or something. Sexual whatever it was, something, whatever it was, is disgusting. But he was studying young kids like under 4 years old, how many times and how quickly they would ejaculate. Girls and boys.
Holy
How many
fuck.
times they would have orgasms, how quickly they would have orgasms.
Whoa.
This was on the documentary, What is a Woman?
Mhm.
They talked about him really quickly.
Matt Walsh.
Matt Walsh is the man.
Yep.
Oh,
But
here we go.
This statue was just made. This is recent.
Just it literally September 9th,
And they tore
75th
down,
anniversary of the institute that bears his name. This was oh man,
yeah,
uh,
the Kinsey Institute.
Indiana University, I believe. Yeah, Indiana University.
Oh man. That's disgusting.
Around the world and around the nation, around the world, the Kinsey Institute is a trusted source for information on critical issues in human sexuality, relationships, gender, and reproduction.
What the fuck was his overall agenda? Like, why? What was his? I don't know. What was your fucking thesis?
His thing was understanding humanity's sexual diversity, showing that there was no difference between a boy and a girl, and you can treat a boy like a girl, and they would be raised to believe that they are a girl.
Wait. I want to see his own actual writing. I don't want no fucking perverted version by someone that studied it and read it, and that's their interpretation of what the fuck he
suggest
said.
you do that.
Because that makes no sense. Like, see,
I
this.
highly suggest.
I
you do that.
mean, it was okay for him to do this study and masturbate 4-year-olds.
Oh, is that the twins? Where
No, that was
one-
the other guy.
That was the other
Yeah,
one.
I think it was
I-
Money.
Yeah, the money twins.
This guy, they said that there's no evidence saying that he did it. It was, he was basing it off of somebody else observing.
So he was a voyeur. So he's sitting there watching.
There's nothing they're gonna say that's gonna take this away. Dude.
These are some real nasty people, man.
we can Google it right now. You know, I'm not gonna Google. I'm gonna
listen, I'll be back, man. I gotta give me something to drink, man. This is fucking crazy.
Grab me one too.
Kinsey Institute. Let's put it into Google and put it into DuckDuckGo. We're gonna see what the difference is here. On what the search results come out as. I'm gonna do Kinsey Institute children, I guess. I don't really know.
Experiments.
Children experiments, child victim.
Oh, also, DuckDuckGo has come out in terms of they announced that they're no longer going to be fully unbiased in their search results. This is a couple months ago.
DuckDuckGo said they're not going to be fully unbiased,
Mhm.
so they will be biased.
Correct.
That means they got bought out.
Not necessarily, but they are playing along with some of the more big tech companies in terms of addressing. Thank you.
Well, that's not good.
Misinformation. So I use the Brave browser and the search box and that.
Brave browser search box.
No, it just
Oh, Brave browser. Okay.
built-in Brave search box.
Boom. There you go. All right. So I got this one. Pat Truman is a former U.S. attorney for the U.S. Justice Department's Child Exploitation and Obscenity Unit. Truman says, if these experiments took place, they involve acts to which no child could provide consent, for which no parent or that's very generic there. There's a graph right here, and we're talking about like a 5-month-old, 11-month-old, 11-month-old, 2-year-old, 2.5-year-old, 4-year-old, 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 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old, 10-year-old. And it literally shows the number of orgasms, the time involved.
That's disgusting.
All the way from 5 months to 14 years old.
5 months?
Yep. The table is called Examples of Multiple Orgasm in Pre-Adolescent
What
Males.
parents put the kid? See, this is another question, right? Like, where are they getting these kids from?
Are these the ones that are getting dropped off that don't want to be
I mean,
had as kids? And
bro,
I mean, you see a lot of kids going missing in the city.
right? Not
Mhm.
man.
A lot of kids going missing in the city.
Yo.
my follow-up question to that is why are they trying to make minor attracted persons a thing?
Well, Vatican has been pushing for that. For
Yeah, but you can say that now, but you look back and they were trying to make kids being trans a thing 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Yep.
And we were just like, no, we never would have thought we'd be here today.
Yeah.
Now, even just 10 years ago, we never thought we'd be here today. So where we're saying that a 4-year-old kid raised by 2 trans mothers would start puberty blockers and start transitioning and become a 10-year-old trans model. Did you hear about that?
bro?
You hear about the 10-year-old trans model?
Can we like really start having a conversation that the overall fucking agenda is to erase humanity for some fucking, I don't know, robotic type thing?
So I don't think it's the erasure of humanity. I think that it is mostly just no, let's just bring the number of people on here down. Because if you think about it, it's not a sustainable model. If you keep having, and I mean, I have lots of friends that are on both sides of the spectrum, homosexual, trans, whatever. They're great people, but it's not a sustainable model in terms of if you're not having kids and you simply adopt kids, that then you teach your ways of essentially you can't produce a kid out of 2 men, 2 females, or
what?
Trans, whatever.
I don't know.
My always go buy one.
Good.
Adopt. There are fees involved. But
Yes.
And a background check.
Right. But what I'm saying, I'll let you keep going further. But the buying one, it is going to lead to just going to the store and buying a fucking doll that is like a human, that looks like a human, smells like a human.
They do that in Japan already.
Oh fuck!
The guy married his wife bot.
Oh.
I'm not even kidding. But in terms of it's not a sustainable model, because in a generation or two, there's not going to be enough of them to replicate, even by sheer accident or
Well, let's go down that route, because we can turn that into the conspiracy theory of the week. Because I had something else, but it was going to take probably a good half hour of discussion to get into concerning BlackRock. We see now that all the companies are pushing for the LGBTQIA plus thing.
Wait, IA plus?
Yes. Get with the flow, dude. You gotta catch up. Come on, man.
There's also a 2 spirits now. Also
Two spirit.
on there.
Oh goddamn!
For the Native Americans.
I thought that was included with the plus, but maybe it's a 2 plus.
2SA.
I'm completely
Oh,
off.
gotcha.
I'm out of the loop.
Remember when they
Sorry,
didn't
guys.
want to be labeled as anything? They're just like, let me live.
And
Don't care. Don't worry about what I have in my bedroom. I want to go back to those days.
Me too.
So, you know how these companies now are all on board with that. They're so on board that some will even start paying for your surgery, right? To become trans. Not only that, but we see an abundance of them, pretty much a majority of them, almost immediately after Roe v. Wade came out with a reversal of Roe v. Wade. saying we will pay for you to go get an abortion.
Mhm.
Now, why do you think a company would come out and say, we'll pay for you to go get an abortion?
Ideological support.
One,
Value in the cells, the fetus. I mean, you can. I mean, just having any type of flesh is valuable.
sure. Well, think about it this way. If you do have a baby, what does that mean for the company?
Oh, you're off.
Maternity
You ain't
leave.
working.
You're not working.
Yeah.
Or
Male or female. You
Yeah.
ain't working. You
Yeah.
ain't going to work, right?
6 months.
You're
of
calling
bullshit.
off. Yep.
Yeah.
You're calling off.
A
Kids sick.
year.
Yep.
We don't have daycare.
Don't have daycare.
Someone's gonna quit.
My kid's puking. My kid's got diarrhea. My kid's got this, that, and the other. The company said, all right,
But you're a fucking.
we believe in
Yeah.
women's rights. We're going to
Yeah.
pay for you to go get an abortion.
because my
Yeah.
accountant said so.
Right.
Yeah.
We love LGBTQIA because as long as you're gay and as long as you're a lesbian, you can't have kids.
Mm.
So if this isn't the most spectacular display of accepting capitalism at its finest, saying we want you to not procreate because we want you staying at work.
Whoa. The crony capitalists at the top are the ones that's fucking pulling all these fucking crazy ass shenanigans anyway. Yes. But I mean,
Well,
it makes
I don't think
sense.
they're pulling. I think what it is that a marketing team is coming to them or a branding team or whatever is coming to them saying, we need to jump on this. And the money brain is going, you're telling me I can prevent a woman from
Yeah.
having a baby? You're telling me that I can prevent a man from taking
Even
days
for-
off to
yeah.
go with his wife and having a kid? You tell me I can stop that, which means all the investment I put into this, male or female,
There's less of a payout
Yeah.
for any kind of accommodations.
right?
Well, the COVID shot too. I mean, that's just one. That's another way they can sneak in and fucking sterilize a bunch of women, fuck up their,
See, now
Menstrual
you're
cycle?
getting into the
Allegedly.
conspiracy theory
Well, I mean, we are in this
because
this is the conspiracy,
Right.
section
Because
of the show.
they were very vocal after the fact about women having bleeding issues.
And
Right?
irregularities.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
And when anyone brought it up, they said, no, it goes in your arm
Yeah.
and it stays. It goes in your cells. It doesn't go to your reproductive organs. But as soon as they start talking about my blood, what do you say to that? What do you say to that when multiple women are all saying, my
Having
freaking
issues.
monthly period is different now?
Bro, I'll up the ante, right, on this topic right here.
Ooh, let's take it
The
further.
fact that we are in the conspiracy. If
Mhm.
if you were to speak to a lot of women today
Mhm.
who are working for these corporations, if you were to ask the majority of these women, how many of you are taking antidepressants? How many of you are taking
Right.
anxiety medications? How many of you are going to the doctor with irregular menstrual cycles?
how many are happy?
How many of you are happy within your job?
happy? Or at home.
ADHD medication.
The ADHD medication, exactly. The medical field has been attacking women for years. So many women have been going to the doctors for they believe that there's something wrong, and the first thing that their doctor medicate them with is antidepressants.
Mhm.
Well, maybe you are depressed. Maybe your menstrual cycle is a little bit off. So what we're going to do is we're going to put you on these depression pills that they'll give you some serotonin, right? And they eat it up. And then when they fucking take these pills, their menstrual cycles
Go ahead.
goes off the fucking meat chain
Allegedly.
over and over and creates these situations within families, instabilities within families, relationship issues, and then women fucking just going haywire and say, fuck men, fuck you, you ain't shit, blah, blah,
Well,
blah.
I was gonna say it's the medical industry going after women, and it's the ideological circles going after men.
At the men, right? And you have this dynamic that's tearing apart families, and the people who are fucking pushing it and financing it are the ones that we go collectively to watch TV.
Mhm.
We see the show, we see everything that pulls us in with these emotions. This show is brought to you by Pfizer, Verizon, and fucking Moderna, and all these companies.
I hate those commercials.
Yeah,
If
crazy.
do you find yourself
Do you
like
do you watch the section where they like highlight or they have the little blurb about the
the
potential
side effects?
yes.
It's like I'd rather have what that's supposed to
Yeah.
address.
Yeah.
Internal bleeding, depression, thoughts of suicide.
Thoughts of suicide?
Who the fuck?
Right.
Yo,
Well, why do we have
that's the
commercial?
No, that's no.
Why
I
do
want
we have
that.
commercials for it? What are doctors for?
We're the only
Yeah.
Why don't we
we're
go
the
to a
only country in
doctor?
the world that has medical pharmaceutical commercials.
That's crazy to me. Every time I see a freaking commercial, I'm like, what the fuck is this
Mhm.
for?
Mhm.
Why do I go to a doctor and then they're gonna say, hey, you're all set? Well, no, I just saw a commercial that said if my left thumb hurts, that I might have heart complications, and I should come talk to you about this.
Because our medical system right now is too big to fail. I
Uh,
think if our medical system completely collapses, do you know how many people loses jobs in this country?
Mhm.
You know that $1 trillion freaking Moderna paycheck going to our hospitals that have project managers.
In schools now,
So, yo, bro.
just being siphoned through the government
Mhm.
Don't forget all the politicians that have shares of all these companies.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
and get flown out to.
They
Wherever.
have to keep this going.
Yeah.
What's the one company? This one company, they were out buying so many different other pharmaceutical companies, so many other medical companies, and they bought this one company that was about contraceptives and fucking putting up IUDs in women's bodies that were fucking them up, that were
Mhm.
fucking up so
Mhm.
many women. And I forgot the name of this company. It was a big time fucking company. But long story short, like when the fucking shit was fucking people up and then people started rejecting it, the company started to just drop. The company's stocks just started to just drop and drop and drop. But some way, somehow, when shit hit the fan, the investors and one of the top investors was fucking loaded. They found a way to keep this company afloat, and they're still out there buying up companies, fucking selling people bullshit. And just because your doctor, suggested for you, fucking do your own research, yo. Ignore these motherfuckers when they tell you don't go on Google. Don't,
Yeah.
because you're gonna drive yourself crazy. You're gonna think there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, that's like WebMD.
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is check out the side effects yourself.
Yeah,
Are the side
yeah.
effects worth what it is that your ailment is? Or can you just go to the gym and you'll be all right?
Can you just fucking fast for 2 weeks?
You said the F word at least 10 times in the past 1 minute.
Well,
Or can you have sex? Like, seriously, can you go to the gym or can you have sex? Both of those things will cure many of the
Ooh,
ailments.
sex
that
will
is
cure
already
a
on
whole lot
a lot of these
things.
commercials.
Good cardio.
I
Oh,
actually
yeah, it
have a
is.
personal favorite side effect from one of these
Oh,
commercials.
I thought you were going somewhere else.
Yeah,
with that.
yeah, where you going?
Have
right?
you guys ever heard of Eucrisa? It's a
What?
eczema medication.
Eczema medication,
It's an
Eucrisa.
eczema, yeah, and in their commercials, they always say, and it makes me laugh every time, the specific way Eucrisa works is not well defined.
Who proved that?
And it's on their website. You can just look at it. It's written right there at the bottom of the thing.
Spell it for the people.
Man.
Who likes it?
Eucrisa.
Eucretia. It sounds like
Eucrisa sounds like tomorrow's baby.
Yeah, the specific way Eucrisa works is not well defined. Right there, right off their website. That one makes me laugh.
yo.
What the fuck does that mean?
And yo, I'm telling you, bro. People, they're just so stuck with the show. Like, you think about it, like they believe it even more if they're watching Sunday Night Football or some shit, right? They're all comfortable. You know what I mean? They could have a little bit of alcohol. Again, they're all already aligned with the mainstream bullshit anyway. So it makes them feel fucking like, you know what? I might try that. It's the same trick, yo. It's the same trick. They like the people who broke away from that like cycle are the ones who probably don't watch TV anymore.
So it comes back and it heralds back to the Latin, the panem and circuses, which is bread and circuses. As long as they're well fed and they're entertained, people will go the path of least resistance. Fortunately, we made it really, really easy to go the path of least resistance. Think of the last 2 years. You now have Uber Eats and DoorDash and all that.
Lizzo's fucking an Uber Eats spokesperson.
Of course she is.
Didn't
Of
she just
course
lose
she
a whole
is.
bunch of weight recently? Didn't
Yo,
she get
I-
flack for that?
I'm waiting for that like transformation. Like Lizzo's her last album, this last album. I guarantee you, we're gonna stop seeing Lizzo for like a year and a half.
Yep.
This bitch is gonna come back looking like
Yep.
fucking, I don't know, Kim Kardashian and some shit.
No,
That's a
No.
lot of work.
yeah, no.
Bro, you never know, man. Hollywood will make it happen.
She's pretty ugly.
Bro, she's only
Have you seen
overweight
the
right now.
Kardashians, the befores?
Yeah,
First of all, they were beautiful before.
I don't know.
You don't know. Kim Kardashian was beautiful before. Her sister, the one, what's her name? The one that's OJ's daughter? No, not her.
Chloe.
Yeah, Chloe wasn't beautiful before.
I thought the other one was hot. The ones with the
The
drummer.
short one? Yeah.
She with the drummer. I thought she was a hot one though.
Why?
I don't know. She just looked better than other bitches. I don't know.
It's an intuitive attraction.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah,
explanation.
sure. Yeah.
Kim,
Yeah.
I just thought Kim was a hoe. I'm like,
You see now that Ray J came out with
Yes.
the notes and he had the handwriting sample by
that's attention. He's
of
like,
course
he's,
he's
you're not with Kanye now, so
yeah, maybe he's trying
it's
to get
my
it again.
attention. I need some attention.
All right, let's go to the. Oh no, I'm sorry. Since Andre, we haven't actually told anybody what Andre actually does.
Nobody does. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
He filled right in. And,
Nobody would
you
know. Nobody will know. Andre, tell us about what it is that you do and what makes you so open-minded about the stuff out here and how you got. I hate to say red pilled. How did your eyes open up to what has happened in this world? Because that's not how we know each other, but I think that's how we've gotten more, connected, was by talking about these kind of things.
Oh yeah. So I come from a very unique background. My father's family fled the Soviet Union in 1945. He was actually born in East Germany while they were fleeing. He went to college at SUNY Maritime, became a merchant marine officer, and he traveled the world. And he was part of civilian contracts supporting the soldiers in Desert Shield and Desert Storm. And on my mom's side, her father was the head of medicine for the Belgian Parliament. So in regards to, the Hippocratic Oath, a lot of the scientific method, medical, procedures and research, had a lot of kind of background from both of those sides of the family, as well as understanding what, I hate to put it in blunt terms, but what propaganda is and looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always been one of those, all right, well, if you guys don't pay attention, this is going to be that slippery slope in almost all of these scenarios. And, I've been, I don't want to say vilified, but definitely made a little bit of an example of regarding my personal views. And it's like, well, okay, just wait 6 months and then
Right.
we'll see that I was right. And I apologize that, you thought that I was wrong. I just, have a little bit of intuition when it comes to a little bit of what goes on TV.
What has happened in the past?
Yes. I'm pretty, in terms of the scorecard, it's pretty good. I think we're 1,002 for 100,002. But on the professional side, I essentially help businesses with a lot of their acceptance of payments. If you want to accept credit cards, person or at your business, brick and mortar, online, invoicing, I specialize in that arena of industry. And I work for a direct processing company. We're national, we're licensed. It's not like a third-party reseller or brokerage. So it gives me the advantage of not having to, come up with sleazy sales tactics of, enticing people to want my service. It's like, no, this is what we could save you. And if you want to work with us, cool. If not, then, we'll peg it on the calendar for 6 months from now. We'll reanalyze things and we'll go from there. I like the consultative approach of it. It's very nice.
Something I can speak from experience with Andre here is he'll sometimes be late to golf because he'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry. A client called me. They had an issue with a, transaction. I had to help them through it. That's a big thing because you're talking to someone local, talking to someone that's a person, as opposed to a lot of these other companies. You call the 1-800 number. Yeah. Or you have some bot online that you have to chat with for an hour before you finally get to a person. So from personal experience, I know that this man answers his phone even right before he's about to hit. I'm looking at him like, dude, you better fucking hit this ball. Let's go. There's people behind us. He'll answer the phone. Hey, you got an issue with that? All right. And then he
put my earbud in.
Yeah, he'll put his earbud in and he'll swing and freaking continue playing and be able to help people on the go. But I gotta hand it to him. He gets the work done, and he's always networking. I love that, man. I appreciate that from a manhood standpoint.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, just hearing your story though, going back to your parents fleeing in 1945. That's
Do they see anything that they might
that's
be?
not too long ago. I
Yeah.
would think to where you would be the fucking first person I would want to ask a question when it comes to, you know, your
And-
government.
And my father's extremely well read. Whenever I'm home, there's like books on various segments of history and different cultures, and you know, the vilification of one party versus another, and you know, how certain religions have been discriminated against by particular individuals. And it's like, oh look, we're in the sequel.
Oh God! And sequels are never better than the original.
I'm very, very interested in just how history repeats itself, and people don't understand. People act like they know Russia, but don't fucking know Russia, right? And
Or the
just-
USSR,
the-
or the Soviet
I mean,
Union.
just going back to when Lenin did what he did, right? I'm pretty sure your father and your mom, they were very aware of that time period.
Yep. So my grandfather on my mom's side, because of his doctor card, when you were in medical professional, you had just a license essentially. He was able to essentially turn away the SS in Brussels, where my mom's family's from, when they would be doing their nightly rounds of inspections or whatever, and they would question him, have you seen any Jews? Have you suspected of seeing any Jews in the neighborhood? And he had actually hid 6 Jews in our basement for 5 months. So between that, and then also my dad's side of the family, his parents, and their journey coming to the United States, they also had a medical background, but then when they came to the US, they had 0 English. They worked in cardboard box factories assembling boxes, and my grandmother was a maid.
Mm.
Like, you go from, you know, a pretty well respected segment of society
Right.
to literally the bottom with nothing.
Mm.
And you know, that is the testament as to what America can do for people. And that's
Hell
why
yeah.
that's why I understand why all these people want to come here, because we're the pinnacle, at least in this area, of what we can do in the world.
The my favorite meme during the whole COVID thing was, I'm quickly learning who would have told the Nazis where the Jews were.
Oh shit! Oh, they're just fucking wearing a mask right now.
It's we know what you would have done in 1930s Germany,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
it was a conditioning.
People were calling
Yeah.
in because people, you know, may have been out at it, wherever they might have been at, and like, oh, they didn't socially distance. Oh, they didn't. They just
Yeah.
came back from Florida. You know, they were just on vacation, and I only saw them in their house for 3 days, not 5 days.
Well,
Those type of people.
The worst was, like, remember when they said that you could only have like 6 people over at Thanksgiving?
And
then
Mm.
I remember
all
when
the
they
poli-
said that.
Yeah.
And then all the politicians had like Mondo parties.
Yeah. Fucking.
You mean Obama had his birthday party with like 300 people?
Oh, they were balling
Mm.
Yeah.
by the
What-
lake.
No mask.
By the lake. By the
Yeah, it's like
mask.
house.
You're right.
What was the tropical event? Was that a wedding that they went to? And it was just like
That was his
3
birthday.
Oh, the
Oh, that was
Bombers
his
didn't give a
birthday?
fuck. They was balling out of control.
One of
They
the
didn't give a fuck.
one of the things we're gonna talk about is the fact that Biden's house. Oh man, you know what? I don't want to pull it up. He's looking to pull it up, isn't he?
Well,
is it on the coastal line somewhere?
So check this out. Since you brought up where Obama lives, he's got a summer vacation home, right?
really?
And the
Far
head,
from being president?
and vice president, he's been in politics for 50 something years, bro.
So how? But what's the average salary for a senator? Is it 250,000 or something like that?
He didn't make his money from politics.
No,
Biden's Delaware vacation home faces
from his fucking whack ass book.
his wife is a doctor.
She is.
I'm trying to give a reason. Yeah,
just-
she's Dr. Jill Biden.
Just like well, that's
I think she's a.
it's an honorary.
Yeah,
It's
I was gonna say I
not-
don't think she's a real doctor though.
No.
So look at this. Biden's Delaware vacation home faces, in quotes, extreme flood risk as climate change leads to rising seas. Do you want to know how he faces extreme flood risk? All you have to do is read the freaking article instead of looking at the headline. Biden and his wife Jill bought the home in 2017, 5 years ago. Not that long ago. We all know about climate change, right? After he left the vice presidency, and the structure is elevated to avoid major damage from all but the most catastrophic floods. Elevation can be a powerful tool to protect against flood damage. Some climate advocates, while applauding Biden's legislative accomplishments, agree. He lives, was at the top? No, he lives in a freaking, what do you call it? In a swampland. Marshlands. Thank you. He lives in a marshland. Like he lives in a wetland that has been, that they say when it rains, the water's going to rise up. So you have to build your house elevated.
It's probably been going on for fucking centuries.
Forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
My best-
FEMA writes the maps of where you need to have homeowner insurance, and that includes flood insurance. If they require it, you have to get flood insurance because you are in a
flood
wetland
zone.
or a flood zone.
Yep.
He decided to live in
An actual wetland area.
Did he actually make the decision? Because
It
I
has-
don't think
it-
this fucking dude makes any decisions.
It has
anymore.
to be. It has to be disclosed by the seller to the buyer. Hey, you're in a flood zone.
Yeah.
Or, hey,
and not only that, when you go to get insurance company has to tell you,
Yeah.
hey, you need this extra insurance because you are in a wetland. He bought this house in a wetland and it's elevated. And they're saying that he's at extreme risk.
Who wrote this? Where does this article come from?
Where did
You
this?
gotta look at the
CNN.
sources. man.
CNN.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
But you knew that CNN, we all knew
Yep.
from Project Veritas that CNN was going to push this
Climate
climate
agenda.
change, climate agenda. They're going to push it down our freaking
Well,
throats.
Okay, who owns CNN? Was Ted Turner?
no, the new guy.
Oh, wait, he's dead, right?
No, CNN got bought recently. They've got a.
They got a new owner.
Yeah,
They're all owned by the same
that-
company.
Well, kind of. Yeah, but that's why Brian Stelter got fired.
Well, either way,
And
either
because
way,
he sucks.
Because he
either
sucks.
way,
Yeah, and nobody likes to
either
watch
way, whoever owns CNN, these motherfuckers got money invested in the World Economic Forum, and
Allegedly.
they definitely don't want anybody to own shit. They don't want us to fucking be able to think for
It's in
ourselves.
their ad.
They want to solve fear for everybody. They want everybody to fucking believe they're living in a fucking fairy tale world. Like,
You don't live in a fairy tale world?
oh no, I'm living in fucking.
I don't know about you, man. I'm living in a fairy tale world.
This is hell right here.
This is not hell. Stop it. You
No,
live in
this is
America. This
fucking
is not
hell.
hell.
No. The country itself, right? I'm talking
Mhm.
about the world. This whole entire
Oh, you're
fucking
looking
shit.
at the macro.
Yes, the macro,
Okay.
bro. This is fucking.
So you're
hell.
living in end times. Is what you're saying.
Yes, man.
What kind of comments do we have that we can look back at and discuss?
fucking
Joe
crazy.
Biden has a PhD, not an MD. Thank you for
Mhm.
elaborating on that. I was hoping that they would catch that.
Also, Bill and Melinda Gates bought a $43 million beach house in San Diego last year.
Oh,
two
that's
years ago.
so weird. That's so weird. I
Wow.
can't believe they would buy a beach house.
Why would they do
along
that?
The ocean.
Mm,
They're still flying that private jet too, huh?
yeah.
Because God forbid you fucking fly commercial.
Also, he
We got a lot of comments. We totally missed out on a lot. Of
Yeah,
these.
sorry.
I appreciate you guys in the comments there. We got a
Where's it?
Brooks wound up in charges of RTS. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to there. Okay, who do you believe is running the company? Whoa. Okay,
Too
nope.
fast.
Go ahead. Yeah, do they actually see that we're scrolling through the
Did it
comments?
say Stan?
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Did somebody say? What did it go up? Go up one more. Oh, Sealy. Oh, okay.
The worst was when Dave Seeley told everyone around Equate to call police on people holding garage sales. For real?
Wow, Dave. Come on, Dave. You got to do better than that, bro.
That's also outside.
I know.
That's your class too, isn't it?
No. Dave was the year after.
Okay.
He was
the
my-
year between me and you.
Yeah, he was my offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And I love Dave, man. Anybody that went to war with me, I like, you my brothers. I love Dave, but
He got out of politics.
He did.
He's out. He's
He
like,
did.
man, fuck
He
this.
did.
Got out.
But
I don't blame him one bit.
but at the same time, he was aligned with that crew.
You can say that they're aligned just because they are friends. I don't do
Mhm.
that because I'm friends with some people that I'm not aligned with.
With the shit that he was doing during he was in it.
Okay.
He was in it.
I'm
He was in the
I'm gonna
trenches.
accept your
He was
I
in, he
don't-
was in
I
the
don't keep-
trenches with the bullshit when it first came out. But
Okay.
at the same time, like sometimes you gotta, I don't know, what can you do, right? When your party is going one fucking way. Take that knee like Kaepernick this time.
No, I really think that Rochester is starting to open up their eyes to a lot of things that they've kind of been lied to or taken advantage of for their
Mhm.
votes. I'm holding a meet and greet for LaRon Singletary. I put it out in the stratosphere yesterday. And guess what I found out yesterday at the exact same time? That my position as remember that chair position that I had before? And
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna put this out there. I don't even care.
Fuck it, right?
Fuck it.
Breaking news.
I sat with Miguel Melendez face to face, man to man after the conversation. I think we talked about on the podcast where one of the council members had said, if people in the crowd are saying things to you and you feel fearful of any actions that they may take, that's on you. That's you being scared of their words is on you. You need to check yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
After that meeting, I went to him, I said, you heard what she said, right? He's like, yeah, I heard. I was like, okay. And you also heard what, what's his name? Jeffrey, that was on our show, the GSL show.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that interview? Did you hear that? He's like, I heard some things about it. I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you see the fact that they will say one thing just to get their way.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's against them, they're going to use that women privilege.
Play victim.
They're going to play that victim card whenever they can.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, you know, blah, blah, blah. He didn't, you know, he was just very like standoffish about the whole thing. I was like, all right, it's been like a couple months at that point of the whole podcast debacle. Let's get back to work. I'm like, nothing that was done on my podcast was me personally. I didn't say anything. It has nothing to do with my job as a city council member. It was nothing to do with my job as a Parks and Public Works and Department of Environmental Services freaking chair.
Everything that was said from the very beginning.
Right. Nothing to do with that. So it's time for me to go back to work, dude. It's time for me to go back to it. I'm like, I still have a very good relationship with them. I still talk with them. But the problem is, it's all about my district right now. And I want to be doing the same kind of work that I'm doing in my district all around the city. I want the entire city to see the kind of work that I've been doing in my district.
Mm-hmm.
They need to see it as well because I've been freaking kicking ass. He's like, yeah, you know, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I need to make sure that what was the words I used? I need to make sure that we're at least on the same level where we're going to say we're getting to that point, right? That you are at least getting to that point.
But what's the most important thing though? The
me.
Fucking people though, right?
Right. Should be.
Okay.
He's like, yeah, I can't do it in September. And this was last month that we talked about. He's like, I can't do it in September. I'm like, I get it. You got to take your time. I'm like, but it needs to happen. He's like, I understand. I announced that I was having a meet and greet for LaRon Singletary. 2 weeks ago, we were at his event with multiple people of color. Took pictures with all of them. It got posted. People were talking about it in another world behind us. And yesterday it got announced that he decided that he's going to give that chair position to another council member. Another council member that said, I want no leadership positions because I'm too busy. My priorities are elsewhere. I don't want any chair positions.
Yo, these motherfuckers is playing whack politics. That's not even fucking like, I don't know. That's cowardly. That's cowardly, bro.
I appreciate this other person because at least they've always been honest. Like they've been honest with me every time.
But
everything I've heard about, everything I heard about from other people about Miguel, I never took because I don't like to judge people based on what other people tell me. I'm gonna work with that person, and I'm gonna accept them as who they are until they do me dirty.
Yep.
The entire time I worked with
this is it right here.
They told me from the background, I'm not gonna say who, I'm not gonna say what side or anything like that. The entire time they said, he's another Lovely Warren. Lovely Warren is behind the scenes. She's behind the scenes in another group. They're pushing for this. That's how he got that, blah, blah, blah. But like this whole thing, I'm like, look, I work fine with him. I don't want to ruin that by what other people say. That's just not who I am. I work with anybody. Don't care. I'm military. I don't care. Let's just do the right thing and get the right thing and get the thing done.
Task, get
right.
the goal.
So now, obviously, I'm in a position where I can no longer be that person. I can't be that person anymore to Miguel. That I had him sitting in the seat. Remember, he came on the show, and I was,
and we had a good show.
We had a good conversation.
And
if you listen to that conversation, I saved it a couple of times because I knew that it was kind of going against him, and I saved it a couple of times because I wanted him to feel comfortable coming on the show and making sure that he can speak what he wanted to say.
He seemed like an honest,
but that's ruined now. That's ruined, and now I'm not happy about that.
Integrity goes a long way.
So
with people, with men,
it goes a long way.
Exactly. and it's politics. It's Game of Thrones. He
But I
put
don't
that
play that
person in
mess.
that position.
I don't
Nah,
play. I'm here to build Rochester up.
You are, but
And-
again, that's the difference, though, right? Because you got motherfuckers that's not. They're about building themselves. It's about themselves, bro.
Allegedly.
It's about how people view them. It's about their popularity within the folks that makes them feel good. They don't want to rock the boat.
Yeah, they got to cover their ass. It's speaking out of both sides of their mouth.
Yep. But, I don't do that.
Well, again, that's why you get into trouble. Because
I don't see it as trouble.
No,
I don't see it as trouble because I think that people are they're talking.
trouble within the eyes of the people who are ignorant. They're the ones
trouble to them.
Yes, they're like, oh, he's always got some shit with him.
Right.
Fuck.
It's never baggage with me. I don't bring baggage.
No.
The baggage
man.
just falls on me like I'm a bag boy.
No, they're trying to create baggage to try
Yeah.
and weigh you down
to stir
Only-
the pot to keep
only-
people away.
because of the fact that people who have convictions and stand on principles, unfortunately, A, they can't be bought, B, they can't be influenced unless it's
Mhm.
reasonable and rational. And they know that they can't do any of those without buying the power because none of their stances make any sense, nor does it actually end the goal in a positive manner,
Yeah.
except for themselves.
Jose, you should be used to it because it's the way the city of Rochester operates. They did it. They did it to the police chief,
Uh-huh.
right? They did it. I mean,
And
even
I
on
would-
the lower level with me, they did it to me, bro. Like
Yep.
they will create some fucking shit to make them look better,
Mhm.
to make them look as though that they have the power and you are the problem, all the time.
Well, see, that was the problem too. I was willing to stay neutral with LaRon and Joe Morelli because Joe Morelli is the leader of the Democratic Party here locally. I'm a friend of LaRon. Like I know the guy. I've had drinks with him. We've been out together. I can't say the same for Joe Morelli. I can call LaRon. He'll answer the phone. I can have lunch with LaRon. I've had lunch with him a couple times. I've had drinks with him a couple times. Me and him are friends. I was willing to stay out of the conversation until
Mm.
they started playing me, until they started going after him.
Right.
That was my problem. Me, I can take it all. I don't care. Chip off my shoulder. I'm cool with it. That God tells me don't freaking forgive them, right? Forgive them. They know not what they do. But they're going after my boy. And when you come out with a freaking TV commercial
Hit piece.
in August about him being a radical,
a black dude, a black radical. The black radicals was on the Black Lives Matter side, yo.
right?
Yo, I've been waiting for like the LaRon Singletary attacks to come, and first of all, they're so terrible at it. First he was a black racist, right?
Right.
First he was a black racist.
Yep.
Now he's the black radical. This is why the left don't want blacks.
Extreme. I think he was extreme. Let me double check that.
Didn't they do that to Larry?
This
Elder,
is
too?
why. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they made it
Yeah.
better. Larry
He was a
Elder's
black
the
face of
worst.
white supremacy.
Yeah, what the that's just
Yeah.
so retarded. That makes no sense. And also to folks who are black, they should be rallying behind LaRon Singletary because that is the most racist statement. And it's right along the same fucking rhetoric that subliminally the left has found a way to use on black folks for years, yo. It's the same fucking tactics.
It really has been.
It's that is so racist to just completely put one person one way just because they don't agree with you politically.
Mhm.
Now all of a sudden they are a sellout. Now all of a sudden they are Uncle Tom. They're a coon. And to say that about somebody that actually grew up in the city and probably has a lot more street credibility than Joe Morelli, a fucking Adam Bello, a fucking
No, you can't. You
go
had,
through the whole list of
you
people
had
who
nothing
act
bad
as
to
though,
say about him when he became RPD chief. There was
No,
nothing. They
no.
had nothing on his background. They had nothing on his disciplinary record. They had nothing on him. No problems whatsoever until Lovely Warren needed a scapegoat.
Yep.
Then he became the freaking speed hump under a bus That's it.
And if
But this right here is the reversing of that bus over him.
that's worse. That's worse. That is worse.
I'm not.
And
See,
they
that's the thing.
support
There's
it
nobody
too?
else. There's nobody else in the Democratic Party that's willing to stand up for that or stand up against that.
Even within just city council, there's a lot more fucking colored folks within those council chambers. Like, where is some loyalty? Like, is there any fucking loyalty left in City Hall?
No, there's no loyalty in politics. There's no friendship in politics. There's nothing in politics. You know what it is? Me versus you, and that's it. If you're going for something, you're either taking it away from me or you're taking it away from somebody else. See, that's the problem. And I'm not going to stand for that. So if I'm going to be anything, I'm going to be someone who's going to stand on that integrity and say, this is my friend. I was going to stay out of it because he's not with my party. And Joe Morelli has never done me dirty. I mean, he's never answered my calls. He's never answered my emails. He's sent somebody that was a peon to talk to me about something that was a really big project that I thought would have been huge for him. I shouldn't say a peon. I'm sorry to that person. A very lowly assistant. Right. But I would never say the same thing about LaRon.
Yo, did they really call him the black face of fucking
No,
what?
that was what's his name? That was Larry Elder.
Okay.
He was the black face of white supremacy.
Yeah.
But
essentially that's what they're saying about LaRon.
yeah.
That's essentially what they're
Well,
saying.
Joe Morelli's first statement that he came out, like he said, the Kentucky Fried Chicken, party, Juneteenth party.
Okay, gotcha.
He must denounce this immediately. As
why? What had to do with him?
But again, like, why you can't play race with black Republicans?
Well, what's that got?
As a white Republican,
then
why are you doing it?
Then why doesn't Joe go against the things that have come out of the Democratic Party that have been completely terrible, like bail reform, like
that's an easy one,
right?
Real low hanging fruit,
very low hanging fruit. Like, hey, there are some things that we need to fix in New York State.
If I was the LaRon campaign, I would completely call Joe Morelli's attacks racist. Fuck it, who cares?
Right.
Say it. I mean, call it for what it is.
What else
if you feel as though that is racist, that what he's saying, call it out. Say it, because now it puts you in a defensive. Explain yourself.
Explain yourself. Well, how was it not racist?
How was it? Right. Exactly.
Right. How are you calling a black man that happens to be Republican an extremist? The man that was RPD chief.
With what points? What are they?
Right. Anyways, on Friday, October 21st, mark your calendars, October 21st from 4 to 6 p.m., I'm going to have a meet and greet. Look, this is not going to be one of those hoity-toity political events, right? This is somewhere where you can come and say, look, this is what I heard about you. I want your direct answer. Or, hey, LaRon, I just wanted to come by and tell you that I support you. Or, hey, LaRon, I just want to tell you that I appreciate everything you did for Rochester when you were RPD chief. I may not agree with you on this, that, and the other, but I just want to show appreciation for the fact that you were law enforcement. Whatever your reasoning, it's at a bar. It's at Noonan's bar. All right. I made sure it was at a bar that was the most hole in the wall bar so that you had no reason to come out or no reason to say you can't come out.
Right.
That's 3170 Lake Avenue. 3170 Lake Avenue, Noonan's bar. October 21st. That's a Friday from 4 to 6. You'll have a good time. You get to meet and greet with, you get to talk with him. You get to ask your questions directly. If you think he's an extremist, come talk to him. If you're mad at him because of whatever, stance he has, come talk to him. I guarantee he'll talk to you, and I guarantee he'll respect your response, even if it's against you. I guarantee he will. I guarantee he won't turn his back on you and say you're just an extremist. I guarantee he won't say that you're a radical. I guarantee he'll say, all right, I apologize that we have a disagreement. Because I've never seen this mad. I've never seen him mad. I've never seen him angry. I've never seen him upset. This man has always kept composure. He's always been very smiley all the freaking time. He is a very cordial man. So when they attack a guy, like it's as if they attacked you out, I'm standing up. It doesn't matter. People are like, well, Lavelle has nothing to lose. You do. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. That's not how it doesn't matter.
First of all, and people who say that, how dare you? You don't know what the fuck I had to lose. You don't know what the fuck I lost.
They think that politics is everything.
Yeah, but they think they think they know every fucking thing about people and what they're going through in their own life. You are nobody. You can't speak to somebody without knowing somebody. So fuck you, whoever said, I don't have anything to lose, motherfucker, because I
Oh.
do. We all do. We all do within whatever the fuck we do. But at the same time, it's how you respond to whatever the fuck comes at you. And if you put somebody in a position of police chief and they have to make decisions, right,
Mhm.
for the greater good of, number one, the Constitution, because let's not forget that he was the first one that was standing up against all these draconian fucking measures where it's like, nah, we are not about to fucking stop somebody for not wearing a fucking mask outside. We're not doing that.
He was the person.
He said that shit as police chief. He said, we're not doing that. We're not coming to fucking arrest nobody in no store for not wearing a mask. We're
Mhm.
not doing that shit. So maybe that was strike number one. That, oh, they didn't have a puppet in the police chief position that's going to allow us to come in and let our fucking goons raid all of these small businesses, destroy every single fucking section in the city, to where the entire city had to spend money and resources to clean up the bullshit
they
their shit that they started.
They have no idea what the tax money that we spent on that was.
Yo, they were stoking the fires. And let's not forget, Channel 10, Channel 13, Channel 8, Channel 31 was broadcasting every fucking riot
Mhm.
and posting the times.
Complicit.
Every single one.
Mhm.
6
6
p.m.
p.m. They'll be
6 p.m. at the corner of Jefferson and fucking Frost. Who the fuck ever promoted anything to start at 6 p.m. on Jefferson and Frost?
Ever.
Only motherfuckers with power, money, and influence can shut down Jefferson and Frost and line up 600 plus black and white people to fucking say Black Lives Matter and scream in a fucking megaphone for 2 hours and then go down to the middle of the fucking city and destroy it? Bro, if that's not radical, I don't know what the fuck is. What the fuck her name is? Barnhart. What the fuck is that's radical? That's radical. Laurent Singletary is not fucking radical, you retards. Yeah, he's not. He's not. Sorry. Oh, and I can say that because, again, I don't got nothing to lose. So fuck it. There you go. That's what happens. We don't have nothing to lose.
That's what happens.
That's what fucking happens. You
Right.
speak your fucking mind. So fuck you.
Watch out for the keyboard warriors.
Oh, fuck them too. Twitter fingers got trigger fingers.
They ain't trigger fingers. They don't believe in guns.
Yeah.
But well, I appreciate that monologue you just did there.
That was a monologue?
I think that was a monologue.
That was
Fuck
good.
it.
That was an ending monologue there.
We'll take it.
You know what? I'm pretty sure that's gonna get to Kanye West and John Leguizamo at some point,
Damn.
and they're gonna be like, "Damn, I want to go talk to this motherfucker."
We need to get Maya on the show, bro.
Ain't nobody want to get Maya.
Maya needs to come on the show.
Andre, thank you so much for
Son.
coming on and dealing with
Yeah,
our antics and for
absolutely.
speaking up on all the politic issues that we're dealing with in
Fellow
today's.
single American over here.
Right. I was overwhelmed by single men here. So any ladies out there,
Ladies.
if you see that you love some white chocolate or some dark chocolate, you let me know. Because
Hey.
Austin will not be accommodating because he has a girlfriend. So leave him
I
alone.
do,
Stop
yeah.
messaging
Stop messaging
me
the
about
show for
Austin, all right?
Hey, that Austin freaking mailbox is full.
full.
Like,
And he ain't answering none of your
listen,
your questions.
Tinder,
Sorry,
what?
I'm taken.
What he's
Bumble
gonna do
what?
is he's gonna play that funky music.
That's what it is.